If you thought OpenAI's SORA video generation tool was impressive, then be prepared to have your mind blown, because this is Kling from China and it is insanely good. So let's check out some examples of what it can produce. So when it comes to image generation, we know that we're kind of there in terms of realism and style and art, especially if you use something like Midjourney. I mean, there are things that are indistinguishable from real photographs. The quality is that good. But when it comes to AI video generation, let's be frank, it's still a bit janky. However, when OpenAI showcased their SORA video generation tool, everybody was mind blown, because it was a massive leap from where we currently were, even with things like Runway and other things like that. SORA was really impressive and getting close to that more kind of realism without those kind of slightly uncanny valley moments. And SORA had the whole AI community and the TV and film community abuzz. You know, how long would it be before we could generate whole videos, etc.? Well, let me introduce you to Kling from China. This is their latest AI video generation tool, and it's currently available for iOS users in China. And some of the results being produced are absolutely mind-blowingly good. And I would say a significant leap from where we were with SORA, which at the time was a big leap in the first place. But let's check out some of the examples just to show you what we're talking about. And you be the judge and let me know down in the comments below whether you think this is a big leap. This is courtesy of Rowan Chung here, who's been highlighting some of this AI video generator. There's other people on Twitter who've also been highlighting it. As I said, the app is available for people in China with the Chinese phone number on the KWAI or Kwai iOS app, but you've got to be in China for it. And it can produce 2-minute videos at 30 frames per second at 1080p quality. And as I said, available on the app in China. But as you can see, let's just have a quick look here. So this is off their website here. And obviously they've got a absolute fascination with animals, talking animals. And initially, yeah, some of these images, especially the ones of the streets and the longer views, aren't so good. But I mean, these animals having a coffee in a coffee shop, pretty impressive. Animals partaking in sport and whatnot, very, very good. Now, some of these images are quite old. What's really interesting is what people are currently doing since the app has been made available. And we're going to be checking some of those out in a lot more detail. And I think you'll agree that things have progressed quite significantly. So here, Proper Prompter here has been highlighting some work that's being produced by various people who've got access to the app. And as I say, we'll start off with my clickbaity thumbnail image. But as you can see, check out this woman. I think this is probably the best example there is. So we're starting at the top, in my opinion. And at first glance, as I said, this is super impressive. Look at the out of focus sea, the bokeh effect there on the sea. And the way that she's walking, the way that her hair moves, the way that her hips move. This is scientific, ladies and gentlemen. And again, purely for research purposes, I want to point out a couple of things. Look at the crease in her butt cheek there. The way that it moves when she walks. Very, very realistic. There is a real understanding of the physics at play. And I said, at first glance, this is super impressive. And I would say more impressive than the Japanese woman walking that we saw with SORA. But it's not perfect. And if you stare at some of these long enough, you begin to see things which are a bit janky. And I'm going to point them out if you haven't already seen, because this, as I said, on first impression, looks super impressive. But just check out her elbows here. They look a bit weird. They make her arms look a little bit disjointed at the elbows. Once you see it, you can't kind of unsee it. But other than that, super impressive. Now, there is a big question, of course. Where are they sourcing the material to train the models? Yeah. What video sources and materials are they using to train the model to get images like this? I think we all know where this image is potentially from, where this video is from. And that could be problematic. I think it's less of an issue in China because they have a slightly different view of copyright than, say, we do in the West, as I understand it. But this certainly looks like that scene from Gladiator as he wafts his hand through the wheat field in Spain, dreaming of his homeland. Maximus, whatever his name is. But again, really super realism. Saw's a bit odd there on his back when you start looking at it. I can't see his thumb, but his thumb could just be tucked away in this. But other than that, really impressive. But question, where did they source the training material? Another impressive one here, the dog moving. Look at the background, the way the background moves. It has a real understanding of the physics of the shot and how the background needs to move accordingly. And then close up and focus on the dog here. And again, the way his ears move, all seemed a bit correct. And everything looks really good. But again, staring at it long enough, I don't know what's going on above his eye here. And his tongue looks a bit strange. The way it overlaps his bottom lip there looks a little bit odd. But I'm really, again, at first glance, you don't notice any of this. And it's really, really impressive, in my opinion. Eating is always one that really makes you kind of feel a bit weird and you get that uncanny valley. And I remember SORA had a shot in a Nigerian marketplace. And again, didn't quite work as it zoomed in. But check out these characters here eating this lovely hot pot in the middle here. Their mouths seem okay. Check the guy. When he eats, everything seems okay as far as I can see. They've all got the right number of fingers there. The woman's jacket in the background is slightly wobbly. But this, I think, is really, really good. It really captures it. The steam rising from the meal in the middle there. Very, very impressive. But I'm just impressed with the mouth movement. Often, as we know from that Will Smith meme that you may have seen of him eating spaghetti in the very early days of AI video generation, really weird and uncomfortable and slightly disturbing. But you're not getting that here. The detail is impressive. Okay, cartoons, a bit more simple here. And I think this video generation model works best when the image is simple. There's not a lot going on, as we'll see later in some of the video images that we get. When there's a lot of detail in the background, it gets a bit more janky. But here, fairly straightforward. It's a panda, cartoon panda, playing the guitar on the beach. Pretty impressive. Again, spend time looking at it. The guitar looks a bit janky here, where his fingers or his palms or his paw is over the top of the guitar there. But other than that, looks good to me. And it looks one of those, it looks like one of those cheap CGI cartoons that are generated en masse and then uploaded onto YouTube so you can stick your kid in front of it. Again, here, question, what source material are they using to create these models? But this sort of weird Spider-Man, this less so good. The tracking through the street, the buildings begin to warp slightly, and I don't know what this Spider-Man type character is doing. Yeah, this is perhaps not the best example. But still, a lot of detail in the buildings. But that may be its downfall, too much detail, considering it's having to move at the same time. And again, similar here, lots of details in the background and the people's faces get a bit blurry. And this is more, in a way, more in line with what we've come to expect with some video generation images and the sort of level that we think we're normally at, I'd say, except there's more detail than we normally see. But the buildings look a bit janky there. Okay, and talking here, the more simple thing, the anime here, absolutely nothing wrong with it. And the way that anime is drawn, especially in anime series, is often the face is still and it's just the mouth moving. And then the camera, a bit of interaction of the camera, that gives a sense of dynamism and movement in the shot. But at the end of the day, it's just really the mouth that's moving. So something like this, it works really, really well. Again, street scene. I think the problem here is the detail, too much information to process with the tracking through the street, and the buildings all look a bit janky to me. The thing to think about here is the detail, the amount of stuff that's going on in the image. And as we've seen with the more simple images, this is only going to get better. This is the worst it's ever going to be. Slightly less detail here because it's just a ship. But again, looks really, really impressive. The sails are a bit janky here as it turns. It's sort of got confused in the perspective of what it's meant to be seeing with the sails, I think. But the sky and the sea looks very good. Again, animal here, again, simple, a bit like the dog that we've seen. The mouse in a bit of a weird place, but it's a panting leopard or a panting, yeah, it's a snow leopard by the looks of things, a panting snow leopard of some sort. But very good, very impressive. Just the mouth may be a bit weird if you stare at it long enough, but the ears are there, the eyes all seem right. This is less successful, I would say. Again, a lot of detail in the trees, but look at the way that the sunlight comes through the trees here. Really good. It's just let down by the imaging here on the human. There's no face there. And the skis, again, the perspective of the skis gets a bit confused. As you'll see, you know, is it one ski? Is it snowboard? No, it's two skis. So there's still issues at heart. But again, let's go simple animation. And you can see it's just very, very simple. Nothing wrong with that. And sometimes you just want simple. And it does that very well. It's just when you try to really push the video generation image engine, to its maximum capabilities, but keep it simple and you have very effective images. Again, another animal one here, a dog. The camera tracks there to the left. And again, look at the weight of the dog on the sofa. It's sinking in. You can see its stomach breathing there. And the blinking of the eyes and the ears are hanging right. Very impressive. Lemon and ice. Look at the shine and the detail it captures, and as the camera turns, or even the image, whether it's the glass turning, the light reflecting off the ice here as it moves, it's captured it. It's almost has a understanding of the physics at play here. And again, eating is one that's really difficult to get right, especially with the movement of the mouth. And we've seen some really hideous video generation when it comes to eating. But this, I mean, look at this kid. He's got food all over his mouth, as you might expect, bits of food coming out. You might not like that as an image, but it's realistic. And look at the burger he's eating there, the sesame seed bun on the top. I mean, at first glance, nothing wrong in this at all. You would not know, I would say. But give it 30 seconds, start staring at things. I mean, all his fingers are there. Got the right number of fingers. I'm assuming, yeah, the thumbs are hidden away perfectly there. But I think his nose, if you begin to stare at it when it moves, some of the perspective and depth is not quite right. But again, I'm really nitpicking because I think this is one of the more impressive video generations because of the difficulty of getting that eating right, the movement of the mouth. So there you go, just a few of the videos that is being generated by people who've got access to the Kling app on iOS in China, and some really impressive images. I mean, I've seen some of these videos before, but the newer ones that people are now generating, as I said, like the woman walking on the beach, is super, super impressive in my opinion. And it's not just because it's a woman walking on the beach. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd be really interested to know whether you think this is a significant step beyond what we've seen with SORA, or it's sort of on the same level as SORA. Let me know in the comments down below and all of that. And of course, if you've enjoyed this video, then please hit the likes because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find content just like this. And if you're new to my channel, then domo arigato, please hit that subscribe button, toggle that notification bell, and that way you'll know when I go live with videos just like this. Talking of videos just like this, why don't you check out the videos right here? These ones here. I think you'll like them. Yeah, you'll like these. They're great. Thanks for watching.